Hi there, Jen Roque here from StampCampWithJen.com. I am an independent demonstrator, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and welcome to day 11 of my 12 Days of Christmas series. I hope you guys have been enjoying it. If you're new here, I'm going to pop the schedule down real quick. So each week for 4 weeks, we've been doing 3 projects. So 3 projects times 4 weeks is where my 12 Days of Christmas comes from. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have a project. Thursday, there's a giveaway. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I have a weekend shopping special. And Sunday, I announce the giveaway winner from Thursday's giveaway. This week is our last giveaway and our last weekend shopping special. Weekend shopping specials have been where you can earn free gifts with a purchase as well as double rewards points, so you can earn your free $50 shopping spree with me twice as fast. So head over to stampcampwithjen.com and check out my rewards program. It's a great way to maximize your savings and earn freebies when you shop with me, okay? So I just want to remind you that Last Chance Products is still going on through January 4th. These items are marked up to 60% off, and they are while supplies last, so it's really as long as inventory lasts. So there's no guarantee that they will last until January 4th, so that if there is something you're thinking about getting, I would recommend purchasing it sooner rather than later, because you never know when it'll go out of stock, okay? All right, so today's video is a fun pocket slider card. So we're gonna make it so it looks like Santa is rolling down the train tracks here, and then inside it says Merry Christmas. As soon as I saw this little bundle, I knew I had to make this card. I thought this was so much fun. I actually made this a while ago getting ready for this 12 Days of Christmas series, and I just think it's so much fun. I love these cards. So let's get started. I'll show you how to make it. So in this project, we are using the Santa Delivery stamp set and the Santa's Train dies. Now, normally items are 10% off if they're bundled together, but with Last Chance Products, these dies are actually on sale, so you actually save money by purchasing these separately. So if you haven't purchased these yet and this is something you're thinking about getting, I would order these separately. You actually only save like $1 compared to the bundle savings, but it's still savings. So we're using that, and then we're using the Santa's Delivery Designer Series paper as well, and that is on sale also. So be sure to get those if you're thinking about ordering those and you haven't yet. Now, something cool about these dies and the paper, I actually use this die with the paper, and I die cut my Santa directly from the Designer Series paper. I like the way it looks directly from the paper, and I love when Stampin' Up! Makes it so that you can use the dies to cut out the images on the paper. So that's what I did for this project to make it a little bit quicker, and I think it has a really nice finished look to it too. It's very easy. All right, so first we're gonna start with our Real Red card base. So I have a 5.5 by 8.5 inch piece here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna score at 1/2 inch and 4.5 inches. Okay. And then to make our cut line here, we're gonna take our side here that has the 1/2 inch score line, and we're gonna line that up at the 1 inch mark. And then we're actually going to take our cutting blade, and I'm going to use my thumb to kind of hold it down. So I don't know if you can see here, but I took a piece of masking tape and just kind of stuck it under my cut blade here to make it easier to see where all my numbers are. I got that tip from another demonstrator video that I watched. I thought that was a good idea. So I'm going to line up my cutting blade so it is at the 3/4 inch mark. And then I'm going to make sure my paper is all lined up on my paper trimmer, and I'm going to push that down, and I'm going to push my blade down, and we're going to drag that down just until it's at the 4 3/4 inch mark. Okay, so we have that little cut mark in here now. All right. And then we're gonna fold our score lines and we'll go ahead and burnish those. This is such a fun card. I actually think I'm gonna send this one to my nephew. He's in second grade and I think he would love this card, and it would be a really fun way to like slip some money in there so when he opens it, he has like a little surprise with the Santa message. I think that would be so cute. All right, so for our train tracks, so what I did was I took a piece of silver foil. So there's this silver foil specialty pack that has a bunch of different patterns. I took the one that's like a darker slate gray color, and I cut a strip. You need about 1/2 inch, so you could cut a 1/2 inch strip by about 6.5 inches. And what I did was I actually did a bigger chunk just to make it easier. So this piece is 1 inch by 6 inches. And then I took some of our adhesive sheets right here, these adhesive sheets. I love these. They have little lines on them to help make it easier to peel the adhesive off. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a sticker basically out of our silver foil. So we're gonna take that adhesive sheet and we're gonna stick it right down to the back of our foil. And that way when we go to die cut our train tracks, all we have to do is peel off the backing from the adhesive sheets, and we have a little sticker that we can stick right down to our card front. So that's all I did. I cut off, because the adhesive sheets come in 6 by 12, so I just cut a 1 inch strip off of the side, and that's like the perfect amount. So now I have a big sticker right here, and then you just die cut the train tracks. Now, for the train tracks, you need a whole track plus a little piece of a track, okay? Because this whole track doesn't go all the way end to end. So I cut the track and a little bit extra. So if you cut it at 6 inches and just use that whole strip, that's like the perfect amount, okay? So we're gonna take our backing. Now this little piece is a little trickier piece because it doesn't have that line separating it for the little sticker. So it is a little tougher to get that backing off usually, and I guess I did have a little overlap on mine, but that's all right. Okay, so now keep in mind when you put your tracks down, so we're gonna put our track in this section that's right below that cut line. We don't want it to hit the cut line, we want it to be right below it, okay? And I'm just gonna take, oops, not that. I'm gonna take the straight edge and just line it up along the edge of my card base here. Maybe go off a little bit just to make sure I can trim it and make sure it's straight there. Oops. Just like, oh, it's hard to do when the camera's right in front of my head. Trying to make it straight. There we go. And then you just press it down because like I said, it's like a sticker. And then we're gonna take this train track and we're just gonna line it up edge to edge, and then we're gonna trim off any excess we have on the side there. So I'm gonna look for my little line. You can kind of see right there. Let's see if you can see it. You see that little line right there? That's where that sticker backing is. And you can kind of bend it a little bit and then just peel it right off. And don't worry if I wouldn't bend it too much, but you can bend it a little bit because it's gonna flatten out when we put it on our card front. It's not gonna really be a big deal. All right, so like I said, we're just gonna take this piece and line it up right along the edge of that other train track piece. And then I'm gonna try to make this as straight as possible. Just press that down, and then we have that little extra bit that's hanging off, and I'm just gonna take my paper snips and snip that off. And that's it. You have your little train track there right below that cut line. You don't need to put it right up against the cut line. I have it maybe about 1/8 of an inch below the cut line. Just kind of center it between where the cut line is and that sport line is, and that should be perfect. Okay. Now we have this background piece that is cut from the Santa Express Designer Series paper. There's a sheet. Let me grab it real quick actually so I can show you. So there's a sheet in here that has a bunch of sections, and I just cut a section and then cut it to 5.5 inches wide so that it'll fit the width of this card base here. So each section is probably about 3 inches. So we're just gonna adhere that to the card front. Again, keeping in mind where our little cut line is, we just wanna go a little bit above that, okay? And I'm just gonna use some Stampin' Seal Plus. You could use liquid glue if you want to, that's fine. You just need to adhere it to the card front. And like I said, keep in mind where that cut line is and go above it. You don't want to cover that cut line up. Okay. And then we're going to make a little notch in here so that we can grab our white piece that's going to go on the inside. So I'm just going to take just a little bit and cut it with a 1.5 inch circle punch. Those are retired now, unfortunately. And then we're gonna fold our card in half, and I'm just gonna make a little pencil line so that I know where to cut for the other half there. Okay, and then that way it'll line up and you can just grab that white piece easily. All right, so now this is the tricky part. The trickiest part, I would say. Well, actually, let's do our stamping first real quick. So this is the white piece that's gonna go inside our card. So we're just gonna take the Merry Christmas from the Santa's Delivery stamp set. We're using that Merry Christmas, and we're gonna stamp it in real red on the bottom right corner of our stamp, or of our basic white piece here. Just right there, okay. I'm going to set that aside for when we need to put it in our card. All right, so now we're going to take, I have a Santa that's already die cut, and I have my 2 little slider mechanisms. One's 1/2 inch wide, 1/2 inch by 3 inches, and this is a 1/4 inch by 3 inches. So what you want to do is the smaller one needs to be in the front because that's where the tiny wheel is going to attach to, and then the thicker one is going to line up with the bigger back wheel. So we're just gonna slide these in where our cut line is. And we're gonna take mini Stampin' Dimensionals and we're gonna put those right at the bottom edge of our slider pieces that we just stuck in there. So I'm gonna stick one right there. And it doesn't matter where they're positioned just yet. We're gonna line them up to put on our wheels in just a second. And then I'm going to put 2 at the bottom edge of this one. Okay, just like that. All right, so now, like I said, this is going to go, we're going to make sure this is all the way to the left. And then this little one needs to line up with your wheel. So you just want to kind of adjust it so that it's gonna get covered by the wheel. Can you guys see that? And make sure I'm in the frame here. So you just kind of use your cutout as a guide here and try to make it as straight as possible. Just like that, okay? So there, and then this one is off a little bit, so I'm gonna move it over to the right. And you just kind of play with it until you get it to line up where it needs to line up there. So that looks almost there. Oops. Okay, let's try that. I think the biggest thing is sticking, there we go. Sticking it up so that the dimensionals don't show. So yeah, so you want those dimensionals pretty close to where that cut line is, and then you just kind of play with the spacing to get it to go right under where those train wheels are, okay? So we're gonna stick that up just a little bit. There we go. I think that's good. And the biggest thing is to make sure that this back piece is right up against where that cut line ends. And that just makes it line up exactly where it needs to go. So there's that back one. And then, like I said, we can use this front one and kind of play with it. I'm gonna move it up just a smidge. And there it goes, right there, okay? And that's as far back as he'll go. So now for the inside, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take my little craft mat here and just kind of slide it under there. So we're gonna take our tear and tape, and on this back side, we're gonna put 2 pieces of tear and tape on this bigger section. And then we're gonna take one and put it on that smaller piece. Okay, and kind of rub. Okay, so we'll move that away. And so what's gonna happen now is this little piece here, you're gonna flip it so that Merry Christmas is on the bottom, I believe. Let me double check, yep. So you want it to look like Merry Christmas here, and then flip it forward towards you. And then this is gonna line up along this edge to the right where our little divot is. And it's gonna be centered between these 2 score lines. So it's gonna go right there, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna peel off that tear and tape backing, but we wanna make sure that our little train piece is as far over to the right as possible. And we're gonna take this tear and tape off, this backing, and hold it in place. This is the trickiest part, guys. Other than that, it's easy peasy. But just making sure that this placement is in the right place. These little pieces are in the right place. That's the tricky part. Okay, so this is all the way to the left where that little cut line is. This Merry Christmas is on the bottom. We're flipping it towards us, lining it up along that right edge where that half moon shape is, and we're centering it between our 2 score lines. Just like so, okay? So you notice I have my fingers on the left here where my tear and tape piece was, so those wouldn't move. And now I can press it all down, okay? And now he should move like we want him to. Yay, isn't that fun? Just like that. And mine's gonna get a little wonky. There we go. All right, so now we're gonna take a couple pieces of tear and tape and put tear and tape right at the bottom there. Where that little 1/2 inch score line was. Use our bone folder to reinforce, and then use our take your pick tool to peel off that tear and tape backing. Just like that. All right, so now we can close our slider. So much fun. Oh, and I forgot to trim my little train tracks on this end. There we go. All right, so now our train is moving and grooving just like we want him to. So much fun. All right, so now, and because we had the train all the way, and I can actually shift this a little bit. This guy looks like he's dipping. I'm gonna try to move this down just a teensy bit. There we go. I think that's a little better. You can always adjust as you need to. There we go. And because we had that back piece as far back as it goes, now it'll open just as far as the train tracks that cut line is, and it'll close right when it stops at the other end of the cut line. So that helps our track go exactly where it needs to go. So it ends at the end of this cut line, and it ends at the end of the cut line over here, and that paper lines up perfectly. Okay, so now we're gonna put our little clouds on. This is also from those Santa train dies. I just die cut these little 3 pieces. These are little cloud smoke pieces that we're gonna use here. And again, we're gonna use mini dimensionals. Mini dimensionals work really great for this project. All right. So don't be intimidated by this project. It's really, really fun, and I think it's really a good wow card. So I hope you'll give it a try and let me know how it goes. And if you have questions, please feel free to ask me, okay? So we're gonna put the smallest one right above where that front piece of the train is here. And then the next one will kind of go up a little bit. We're making like a little curve. And then the biggest one, I'll go back here. So it looks like those clouds or that little cloud of smoke is coming out there. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is do the Santa Claus is coming to town. We're gonna use Evening Evergreen. And I just have a 1/2 inch scrap strip here. And I'm gonna stamp maybe about 1/2 inch or so from the edge. And then we're gonna use our Banners Pick-a-Punch to make that little banner edge. You guys know I love using this thing. I use it all the time. And we're gonna use it towards the bottom here. And then we're just gonna cut right along the edge here. And that makes our little banner for the front of our card. Easy peasy. And then we're just gonna flip that over, and for this one we'll use regular dimensionals, wherever I put those. Oh, here we go. Put about 3 dimensionals on the back here. And I'm just gonna kind of line it, overlap it on my DSP, lining that right edge along the edge of the card there. And there you have it. Our little Santa slider pocket card. Isn't that so much fun? I love this card. Well, I really hope you enjoyed today's project. If you need any supplies from today's project or any other project, I hope you'll shop with me at StampinUp.com. My name is Jennifer Roque. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I would really love to earn your business. I want to put this guy down here too. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. My weekly newsletter goes out every Friday, and this week I will have information for my product shares for the upcoming mini catalog. And then every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I go live on Facebook, and I hope you'll join me. This upcoming week, I'm going to be doing an unboxing of some new products from the upcoming mini catalog as well. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up or a heart and like my video, and then leave a comment in the description below and let me know what you think, okay? All right, guys. Well, until next time, be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.